Hi. Oh my god, sorry. Hormonal and emotional and all over the place. So, Mental Health Week is coming up next week. And I don't know if it's the official or if it's just at work. Official to UK, whatever. But basically, at work, the theme is body positivity. That's not a topic of what I'm going to get into, but around that time, I will try and upload a few things. See how it goes. I just kind of wanted to make a short video basically saying, like, I guess explaining what happened when I tried to do some shit things to myself. Yeah, so I know it's not visible because I don't like crying ever. But I'm very emotional right now and my ears are bright red. I've got rid of the red nose ears. Sorry. Yeah, so. Oh god. I went on a drug binge for approximately a week and a half, 2 weeks. And it wasn't, weed or any, like, kind of lower, like, you won't go to jail, you might get a few £100 fine, maybe 1,000. It was some shit that I could possibly have left me with brain damage. Shit that it's, if you take it recreationally, it can be decent, but you still need, it's not something you should do alone. Actually, bottom line, disclaimer, don't do drugs. Take it from me. That's the bottom line. That's all I've got to say about it. Just don't do it. It's... Sorry. Okay. My mind's racing. I'm a bit ADHD as fuck. It's like, what? 2:20 in the morning, which is late for me. But I got my ballot through for the Scottish, I believe it's a local election, but I could be wrong. And I basically started getting flashbacks about being in hospital. And so what happened is I went on a drug binge. Probably mentioned it before, but if I haven't, I'm not going to mention it in this. If I have, fuck it, whatever. For about a week and a half, 2 weeks. Still haven't told my dad about this or any of my family. I haven't told my family I made a suicide attempt. Because at the moment I've got a job, I'm stable. They're so proud of me for getting better. I am now. But for 3 months, December through to March wasn't fun. And it was I might have explained this before. It came to my mind and I had to just bleh. It was the police and my doctor. I believe her name was Lauren. I could be wrong, but it was 2 policemen. Paramedics, I believe. I could be wrong. Green uniform, works with the hospital staff who go to your house and fix you up, then ambulance you off. ambulance team, whatever, fuck it, you know what I mean. And my doctor, who sutured me up, anaesthetized me, she was a darling. And I explained to the whole hospital staff, I was completely transparent. I said, look, I've been using this thing, I've been on it for a while, I'm currently intoxicated on it. And I tried explaining to them what it was. None of them had heard of it, which is a really big red flag. But my doctor hardly took a break. I was in the hospital from approximately, I believe the ambulance arrived at around 11 or 12. So I got to the hospital at about 1 or 2. About 12 or 1, sorry. And when I got to the hospital, they wasted no time in getting me set up, getting me on a bed, making sure, you know, I was okay, I wasn't, you know. And those 2 policemen were gentlemen of the highest form. And they came first. And I asked, you know, why is the police here? And they said, it's basically, you know, it's a suicide attempt. We have to stay and monitor you so you don't self-discharge. As in, you don't sign out to leave the hospital on your own. Because then you could go and hang yourself or do something. And, you know, a few nurses came to see me. They came to take my blood. They came to take my heart pressure. I had electrodes all over me. Everything came back fine, which is really lucky. It wasn't a high dose, but because it was a continuous dose, anything could have happened. I hope my work never sees this. Social media. I never took abused at work, but I was still hungover. And I still felt the effects. I was still dissociating. I was still nauseous. All of the withdrawal effects kicked in, and then I would go home, spend 10 quid on shit I shouldn't have spent 10 quid on. Could have saved that money, put it in my wee safe. And hospital. Sorry, I'm laughing at myself because I noticed that don't know if it's ADHD or what, but I just go on tangents. So I notice it and I'm like, shut the fuck up. So my doctor was a fucking angel the whole time. We had a lovely chat. We were talking about what's it like to be a nurse. I'm really interested in mental health. What's your stance on it? My doctor? Did I say my nurse? I meant my doctor. And she stitched me up. And she did a really, really good job. And I wish I knew the names of the 2 policemen that stayed up with me all night and drove me home approximately 9-10 hours later. I wish I knew their names. It was 2 gentlemen. I believe one was like blonde, kind of strawberry blonde, aka like ginger. And my doctor. I wish I knew their names so I could personally go up to them, give them a gift, and thank them. So my ballot paper has recently come through. And it's got me spiraling. Because I don't know UK politics. I only know... Sorry, I'm like adjusting the camera. Because I don't like being gross. So, I don't know UK politics. I know social politics. I'm very conservative in my social politics. UK politics, I don't know. So I've been asking my dad, I've asked my friends. There's one party and one person in particular who is siphoning money away from the police and NHS force. Why? I am the unofficial, but, very revered in my friend group, sort of mother figure, caregiver, big sister figure. I have expressed my house is always open for any of my friends to crash. But one of my friends, I'm not going to mention names, has schizoaffective bipolar. They have manic episodes and they have schizophrenic episodes. It is very, very, very important to me that he doesn't kill himself. Because he's gone through so much. He deserves a chance, sorry, my battery died, to fight. He deserves a chance to actually live and see what success he can go through. My longest friend, no names, Blondie, she, even though she believes that her problems aren't real or aren't as, traumatic as ours, she's going through a long-term mental illness that is severely impacting her school, her home life, and her general, self-care. In that she doesn't do anything she does is for a bad thing, which she believes in her mind is good. It hurts me because I have seen her have a breakdown, and it scared me because I thought she was going to try and kill herself if I took my eyes off her for 1 second. My other friend, Irish, she doesn't know what's wrong with her. And I know that seems kind of like, if you don't know what's wrong, there's nothing wrong. Bullshit. You cannot tell a young woman who is harming herself that there is nothing wrong with her just because she doesn't have the answers. And to the person who is higher up in power, who'll never ever see this video, who is siphoning money away from the police and NHS that have saved my life and continue to help me through my recovery and could potentially save my friends' lives, fuck you. Get to fuck. How dare you? If it wasn't for my doctor, my psychiatric nurse, my GP, the policeman who made sure I didn't run off to kill myself again. If it wasn't for those people, I would be dead. And I would have succeeded the second time that night. Shut up. If it wasn't for those people, if it isn't for those people, my friends might die. If it isn't for the NHS, two of my friends, one potentially, but very similar symptoms. Two of my friends have, progressive disorders that will physically impair them, possibly. If it isn't, I'm angry. If it isn't for the NHS, what hope have they got? Because they don't have any faith in the NHS. And that is not their fault. That is because the NHS does not have the funding required to actually treat and care for the patients that they are dealt. That's disgusting. The only people who are actually, worthy of the NHS are those who don't obviously care about money. Have you seen the economy? I don't know anything about the economy. I'm being stupid. Tangent. So, sorry. I'll put my knockers away. So, if it isn't for the NHS, several people will die. And, I also understand that there's people that I don't know who are struggling, who are suicidal, or who aren't even suicidal, but they are impulsive or psychotic. They have their own disorders, they have their own problems. It is not something that should be swept under the rug and taken lightly. It is really important, especially for me. And before the counter argument, well, why did you try and kill yourself? That's irrelevant. I childhood trauma. I've discussed it. And parts of it, not all of it. It comes back to bite you, even if you've grown up to be a healthy child for so long. Now that I'm an adult, I'm pissed off. Because my dad could lose his second daughter. Stop taking money away from the NHS. Stop taking money away from the police force. People get raped. Men and women. Children. Elderly people. People get murdered. Men, women, children, and elderly people. People try and kill themselves. Either from an isolated trauma or impulse. Or because the police cannot prevent traumatic events occurring. Just stop. They saved my life.